You look great today. I guess you're still at that same job and it's not fitting you quite well. Almost like your favorite outfit after Thanksgiving dinner. And I understand that you put in all those years on the job. You built a stable career, but something feels off. Now here you are in your 40s, perhaps maybe even your 50s, and you're wondering, is it too late for me to find something that actually excites me? Let me tell you right now, it's not too late. When I look at this time, or you look at this time, and we've actually hit 40, and most of us are looking around like, is this really it? I know I can't be alone with that factor. I know I cannot be alone with that factor. It's like, are we going to be doing this for the rest of our lives? Is there more out there? I've already put so much time and energy in here. I invested everything I had. And we're all waiting around for this retirement, like this sense of security that we're supposed to have with a small pension. And that's a security check. But is that going to be enough? And the thought of starting over is scary as hell. But here's the hard truth. It's time to shake things up. It's time to shake things up. And let's be real. None of this can be fixed overnight because after all, it took us 40 years or 50 years to get here, right? Finding a new career, that's not going to be a walk in the park. Are you kidding me? But it's far from impossible. In fact, it might be the best thing that could ever happen to you. That's true. Now, I know how easy it is to get caught up in the what ifs. And I say that wholeheartedly because my husband reminds me on a daily basis that I always worry about what could happen because I'm a square and I live inside a box, okay? And I always worry about being uncomfortable. And then I worry about the biggest thing of all. Am I too old for this? That's just fear. And it's just a fear talking. So the truth is people in their 40s or 50s or beyond make career shifts all the time, right? And at the end of the day, we end up with a feeling of confidence and we feel more alive when we align with our purpose. So how do we make it happen? That's the question. How do we make it happen? So let me tell you what I've learned from my own journey. I'm talking about leaving everything I knew behind, right? I'm talking about leaving that sense of security and stabilization and giving it the deuces, okay? So after 23 years, I decided to walk away from my job. And here's the biggest thing with no regrets. I do not regret leaving that job. And I have become accustomed to being a supportive part of the team, a supportive part for my family and anything else. But being consistent for that job didn't return consistency to me. I wanted more out of life. I'm talking about I was tired of the headaches and the sickness and the heartaches of being at that job. Okay, let me break it down for you even more. So as a child with a sick mother, I was always the adult, right? I'm talking about writing bills, changing feeding tubes, all the things that most kids wouldn't even dream of and shouldn't have to. But one thing I noticed is I was an adult when no other adults were around. Now, mind you, my mother was sick. But when the adults came around, it was time for T to stay in her place. You stay in a child's place. Grandma's here, uncle's here, auntie's here, whatever. But I felt like that trickled into my actual adulthood, okay? Meaning that I became the support person in my career. And although I applied for numerous positions, I'm talking about job after job for management, because I was given the role of management without the pay. Think about it. But, if you do some continued learning, if you do this, if you do that, blah. Anyhow, I'm talking about being in a space where your value means nothing. You're just a warm body. So at what point do you make sense and move in a different direction? You ultimately begin to feel stuck. Is that what you're feeling? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like it's impossible to throw everything away that you started from scratch? I mean, you've been building it for years. I'm talking about decades. All the skills, all the expertise, all the things you're doing. Are you willing to start over, or can you take that and pivot? Well, I've come up with 5 real steps to help you become unstuck. All right, here are the 5 real steps for you to get unstuck. This is where we throw out all the BS and the good facts come into play. Now, if you're ready to start exploring something new, here's what worked for me. And it may just work for you as well. So first, we have to face our fear. I know that sounds easier said than done, but you can't ignore it. It's okay to be afraid, but don't let it stop you. Fear is going to be there whether you're, 20 or 60. Acknowledge it. Take small steps. That's a start. Next, you're going to define your version of success. Forget what anyone else thinks. Put it out of your mind. Don't care. Right? Define your success. Figure out what matters to you. Once you start there, let that be your guide. Third, you're going to explore before you commit. You don't need to quit your job today, tomorrow, or the next day for that matter. Try things out first. Volunteer. Take a course. I don't care. Do something that seems feasible to you. It'll help you get a feel for what you actually enjoy. Next, you need to play to your strengths. With all these years of on-the-job experience, I talked about it in my previous video, all the skills that you acquired, that is considered liquid gold. Use it to your advantage. I'm talking about if you're a great communicator, maybe you're a great problem solver, maybe you're good with hands-on learning. Those strengths are starting blocks. Next, you need to embrace the learning curve. Look, I'm here on YouTube. That's a learning curve for me. I'm talking about trying something new. You might feel like a newbie at this, but whatever, that's fine. Be patient with yourself. This is your chance to grow. Now, finding a new path isn't easy. I will not kid you. I will not kid you. I will not pretend. This is like no fairy tale. But you're waking up every morning excited to start your day because you're doing it for you and not the job. Doing work that feels right for you, that aligns with your purpose. That is the entire goal. That's the end game here. Doing something that gives you life. So if you're ready to give all of these things a shot that I've discussed today in this video, take a moment for me right now and think about one thing that you've always wanted to try. I don't know. Were you already working on a passion project? Have you always wanted to learn a certain new skill? Have you been curious about anything? Drop it in the comments below because I'd love to hear from you. And if you're not sure where to start, don't worry. In my next video, we'll dive into some practical steps about building a way for you to stand out. Also, if you have not seen how to stand out in a crowd, that was another video I did. Check it out because it can be helpful and help with the building blocks. So until next time, I encourage you guys to keep on sipping that tea of wisdom and let it brew into action.